Here's a panoramic shot of our street. There's only 5 to 6 house lots on the street. It's a very low traffic area. This is a very common sight as far as the number of cars and vehicles that are parked on the street at any time. This is the turn going down our back alley, which gives access to the road down the block, which goes to a marked off private corner lot to our other neighbor's lot and back down the street. So you can see our two vehicles, one which cannot access the driveway due to the snow and due to the fact that we can't get down the hill and back up with the vehicle, so we must park it next to our property. Also note, we have 3 children, which in order to load them in and out safely, have to park them close to the stairs. One is 7, one is almost 3, and the other one is a newborn of 1 month. If we are forced to keep moving our vehicles back, we'll have to not only try to load them against this hedge, but we'll also have to face a slippery, snowy, and icy downhill slanted road, which can cause slips, trips, and falls and possible personal injury for no reason. We have one owner at the end of the block, the neighbor, Les and Rose Zimmerman, parking one of their vehicles within inches of ours, our white Blazer, and our purple Cavalier. Other than that, parking on street, empty. Parking on the other side, completely empty, other than the neighbor at the end of the road, one in their driveway, Les and Rose Zimmerman's other white vehicle, their empty driveway, which is attached to their empty one-car garage. So it's definitely not an issue of available space. He's simply choosing to park there in a malicious nature to cause oil and exhaust damage to the car, and simply to be a disruptive neighbor. As you can tell by the snow buildup beneath the Blazer, we have not moved this vehicle since the plows came through, which is why we had to move the vehicle up. So in the last 2 days, this is the 3rd time the vehicle has been parked within inches. In trying to confront them this morning at 6:30 a.m., driver squealed the tires and drove off at a high rate of speed to avoid confrontation. Also make note, on their home there are 3 cameras, one mounted here on the garage that takes pictures of everyone passing, one at the top of their staircase, which has a free view of my home, as well as the window in question earlier, which can see inside of our home and take pictures of myself, my wife, and my children, which is an invasion of our privacy, and another mounted at an angle over on the corner of their wall to surveil everything else at an angle, including who does and does not enter my property from this staircase. View of our stairwell. Motion light, which is kind of blinding the video, but the window is mounted right beneath that light. And I'll take us over to show the inaccessibility of our driveway during winter, to show we have no other options conveniently or within reason to park here on the street where it is currently located. It is an unpaved, gravel and dirt worn track. Even with 4-wheel drive vehicles, it's extremely difficult due to loose packed snow over dirt to back up within a reasonable space and safety, especially for our children, which is the reason we park on this otherwise completely vacant street in the locations that they feel they must encroach upon the space within inches, causing the cosmetic and multiple times done damage in the form of cleaning, maintenance, and if it continues, staining and possible detailing of the vehicle, both vehicles. We do not have the current video of the act of when we back the vehicles to obtain space between them. When preparing the vehicle to leave in the morning, he will proactively start the vehicle, back it up to the front of the truck, and then rev the engine, which produces the exhaust and emissions onto the front of our white Blazer. I will attempt to get more still photos and more video from the upstairs window, which has a better aerial view. And perhaps you can see the cameras activating. Unfortunately, we are not going to remove the shroud from the windows to ensure that questionable neighbors do not have access to my children, to the porthole windows, or my front entrance to view myself and my family's private actions inside of our home at their leisure. Please also note that any documented evidence that I obtain with this recording, or any future recordings, can also be backed up by the 3 cameras that are mounted on their home and garage. As from what I can tell, they are deer cameras and are motion activated. We have personally witnessed them being moved several times to obtain better and different angles on our activities and locations and coming and goings of visitors, relatives, and family to our home, which I also believe is a complete invasion of our privacy. You will also notice on their home they have completely blacked out all windows and doors to remove any light which allows them to peer out of their windows to find out when current activities are going on. I currently work from the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard. A lot of this activity takes place when I am away at work due to the fact that they do not like confrontation when I am here, but they will bring issues and cause other disturbances which are filed with the Sioux City Police Department on multiple occasions to my wife, or voice them with my 3 small children, again ages 7, 3, and 1 month old, while they are simply playing in their front yard. This is an extremely disturbing time due to many reports to the police, many calls to our neighborhood watch groups, support groups through Facebook, calls to friends and family. We have had as much information given, as much concern given as we possibly can as to why we cannot seem to get anyone to be able to do anything about the continued grievance they are causing, let alone any legal recourse we have, without doing anything short of walking out and asking them to speak into the microphone to record their belligerent behavior to our kids, to my wife, to myself. Has been documented on a cell phone record for Pat Shanahan, my wife's father, who heard her yelling across the street to her while she was on our deck here talking on the phone. He heard her yelling from across the street. I think it was the second police report issued was heard by the neighbors located at this address adjacent to their home. No interviews of them was filed, no statements were taken. This woman has become increasingly, over the last 11 months, hostile. We think that due to their age, between middle to late 60s, that there may be mental instability issues going on, and I am fearful that If this is not addressed in a timely manner and these little things keep steamrolling and piling up, that I do not put it past her coming over to cause physical harm to my family when I am not present at home. This is not acceptable to me or my family as a tax-paying citizen, simply trying to look out for what is his and his family's and his family itself. I will make future recordings and still photos on this memory card, which will hopefully be committed to evidence of anything that may or may not happen in the future. Due to these events in the past year, we are actively looking to try to obtain a new home out of this neighborhood and away from possible threats to our family. So we are literally having to move out of our home of 7.5 years because we cannot get anyone to help or believe us. I will be waking about 5 a.m. tomorrow morning before my shift at work to perch in this window to see if I can obtain any other physical evidence on video in better lighting. If it permits, I will try to get recordings or still photos of the cameras actively flashing or activating, of taking pictures of us as we come and go. I may even remove this shroud so we can see if the previously placed camera is still taking action-oriented photos of us walking through our home, which again is an invasion of our privacy, along with the damage done to our vehicles, which under Iowa code, anything that will cost us more than $500 is still a third-degree criminal mischief misdemeanor. And we would like to file charges if it does come to that, provided we have the proof, which I think hopefully in the next coming days or week should be more than ample on top of the previously filed complaints, documentation, and speaking with officers involved with previous cases, or Aaron at the non-emergency police station number, which I contacted this evening, who recommended me to start making a video record. That is all for today. We'll see you in the morning.